Hi again, Internet. Today I just thought I'd talk about some things that get me pretty stoked, either in past, thinking about them again nostalgically, or things that are about to happen that are freaking awesome. So to get started, I wanted to talk about the early fan version of me. What brings up this is the fact that A Litany of Awesome Things recently talked about a specific Buffy episode, an episode which I really like, but more importantly, that episode made it so that I was able to start a conversation, which ended up making me think about when I first started becoming what I would consider to be a fan. Um, Not of any one specific thing, but just a fan in general. When I was about 11 or 12, I started seriously collecting Star Wars stuff. So really, my first fandom was this guy. Um, I still like Star Wars a lot. Star Wars has done a lot for sci-fi. It has done a lot for storytelling and movies in general. And there are some parts of it that parts of the fandom just are just fantastic. But it's so broad. It's so all-encompassing, and it feels so much bigger than what you are. Saying you like Star Wars is saying you like Smokey and the Bandit. So what? You're one of billions of people. In a way, that's a good thing, because one of my it eased me into being a fan. I got to go to two different Star Wars specific conventions, and I honestly think that was the best way to become the kind of person who would go to a convention. Because instead of Dragon Con or Comic Con, where there's just people everywhere and you're just bombarded with imagery, instead you're focused with this small sphere of nerddom, which still covers a lot of people. So at Celebration 4 in Los Angeles and Celebration 5 in Orlando later on, I got to be there around people who were there to celebrate the 30th anniversary of something that just makes them go nuts. I got to see uh A New Hope projected on a screen bigger than most IMAX screens. I got to talk to people I would never have met otherwise, just standing in line. In Florida, I sat on a concourse carpet for maybe 6 hours to watch Mark Hamill talk for one, and that was a life-changing experience. Not that it gave me a great epiphany, but it was still the fact that this stupid amount of investment of my time, and by investment of my time, I mean I could have made $43.50 doing something at Subway instead of actually being there. I was engaging. I was talking to people I would never meet before. I was seeing things I will never see again and might not have seen there. While I was walking around that convention center in that hot, muggy Florida afternoon, I think I passed Seth Green. I didn't know it was him, but it turns out Seth Green was dressed up as a scout trooper to be among the fans, pulling an Adam Savage, and I saw a really, really freaking short scout trooper that day, and there were urban legends developing in that room. It was fantastic. But still, loving Star Wars, as amazing as Star Wars is, and as amazing the fans are, just isn't the same anymore. The online community has grown and shifted and expanded in some ways, because there used to be a Star Wars blog. Now there is the Star Wars blog, the blog run by StarWars.com, but it used to be that there was this blog website where people could go and just blog about Star Wars. And that created some pretty intense intermingled sections of fandom. I got to learn about fan fiction movies through that. I've forgotten the name of the website by now, but I remember there's this one website that was like YouTube before YouTube, and I've already lost it. I think it was Atom Films or something like that. They held a yearly Star Wars fan film competition that had a stupidly small amount of money as a grand prize compared to, what people actually win. But there were some amazing things, and I go back and watch these movies today, and they're not as good as when I was 14, but when I was 14 and I saw someone condense Fight Club into a 15-minute movie, and then make it about collecting Star Wars action figures instead of fighting, that was just mind-blowing that someone could get away with that. So I was talking to A Litany of Awesome Things, and I started thinking about what I consider my first fandom to be, and, well, we started talking about Joss Whedon because of the Buffy video, and my first legitimate exposure to Joss Whedon was Buffy, sure, but Buffy, again, is something huge. Like, with Buffy, I was consuming it in small chunks really fast. I would get a season of it on DVD. Me and my entire family would just blow through the damn thing, sell it, get another one. There are certain seasons of Buffy that I barely remember because of that, even though they're all on YouTube. And of course, any show released in a certain time that has to do so much with the pop culture of the time is going to lose some of its flair over time. I flipped through a couple of early episodes the other day, and the amount of 90s in that thing is just goddamn ridiculous. But then it started getting me thinking about something very special to me in my sci-fi, milieu. The day I turned 14, a nerd friend of the family showed up with something that looked like a season of DVDs, which was weird because I hadn't really shared with him what DVDs I wanted. And I opened it up and it said, actually, hold on one second. I make this more engaging for you. I shredded the wrapping paper off and I brought this out. And he had mentioned it once before, but it was in the context of me telling you that Guillermo del Toro's writing Pacific Rim 2. It's something that, if you like Pacific Rim, you're gonna nod your head and go, yeah, that's cool, but then you'll forget about it in 2 months. When he said the guy who writes and directs Buffy made a sci-fi show, I didn't really, comprehend that. And then I opened up this. And I had no idea what it was. It looked cool. Something about a Western in space. I didn't really get it, so I popped open disc 1 that night. And I didn't go to bed until maybe 3 o'clock in the morning because I watched Serenity and The Train Job at the same time. And there are a lot of TV shows I like. There are a lot of movies I like a lot. But there are very few things where I can tell you the time of day, and since I know I got it on my birthday, I can tell you the day I watched an episode. Let's see, Shindig, I watched at about 3:45 in the afternoon. I watched Janestown at about 2 o'clock at night. I was eating a burger when I watched Ariel for the first time, but Firefly just did something to me. My 14-year-old brain just absorbed every single second of it. And then I got to Zoe here, which is disc 4, and any Firefly nerd who has this set hates this disc with a frickin' passion. And we hate this disc because it's the disc that contains the final 2 episodes. And that's when you start noticing the sad thing. The complete series. Not the complete first season, the complete series. For those of you who don't know, Joss Whedon's Firefly was canceled after the first season. In fact, 2 of the episodes were never actually aired on FX during the time slot that they were supposed to be aired. Also, it suffered some issues. Fox didn't know how to market a Western crossed with sci-fi. They put some very unfitting music on the trailers. They gave away the plot twist of the 2-hour first episode. They aired the 2-hour first episode designed to introduce you to the 10 characters that are in the show completely out of order. To give you exact dates, Serenity Part 1 and 2, air date 12/20/2002. The Train Job, air date 9/20/2002. Which means this aired 3 months too late. In fact, the show even knew that it was going to air late. The Train Job was an episode that was cobbled together at the last second, written very fast to give very brief explanations of who each character was for the more casual audience. Now, today we've got shows like Orange is the New Black, from what I've been told, and I don't want to say Doctor Who. We've got shows today that are so interconnected with each episode that if you missed one, you'd be screwed, but that's because of the internet. In 2002, that wasn't a thing. So I'm not going to give you the whole history of Firefly or why it got canceled or how it got screwed over by Fox, but I am going to tell you that without internet, the kind of which I have right now, I wasn't part of the fan base. With Star Wars, you could have... I had the blog, and I had the Star Wars website, and that was it. I didn't really venture out much, and the only time I could really watch videos was if I went to a public library. So there wasn't any time I could just sit down and, take it all. I learned about the Celebration conventions through the StarWars.com website, and ended up spending every penny I had to do the damn thing. With Firefly, this was just it. There was nothing more. I couldn't venture out and find more. Star Wars, there's always more to take in. If you've seen all the movies, you haven't seen all the TV content. If you've seen all the TV content, you haven't seen all the online stuff. If you haven't seen that, you haven't read the 500 books. If you read the 500 books, you haven't read the fan fictions. There's so much to Star Wars, you can literally never run out. I would bet good money that it was probably impossible for one person to consume and remember everything that is considered canon in Star Wars at this point. 4 or 5 people right now are sitting there at the keyboards getting ready to tell me I'm wrong. With Firefly, you get 14 episodes. That's it. 14. You're done. And this is going to sound cliche, but each episode is essentially a movie to me. Because each episode, while continuity crossing over from one to the other, feels like its own adventure. Granted, most of them feel like heist movies because that's kind of what they do. They steal shit sometimes, or they are paid to take things here, put them here. The thing, since there's so little of it, I was able to completely digest what there was. And I realized that there were things going on in the show I liked. I realized that there was character development. I started noticing things that I notice now in films that I didn't before, because it was such a bite-sized amount. I never gotten fandom feelings about a movie, just one movie, so it wasn't like that. I had the same feelings I did about Star Wars for this, but in a much more powerful way. And now I understand that feeling. And today, that's part of my life, and I love that feeling to death. It's the same feeling I get when I see this guy on my keychain, or I pick this up whenever I'm cleaning up my room and it's wandered somewhere else. Even just putting a piece of clothing on can indicate something you love to death. And that opened me up to the idea that you can be a fan of something and not materialistically be a fan of it. With Star Wars, I collected God knows how many action figures. I still have boxes of the book somewhere. And each time I got the thing, I felt like I was representing myself somehow. Like, this means something. Firefly had nothing. I have 2 Firefly t-shirts right now. There isn't much you can do as a Firefly fan to reach out besides watching the show and talking about it. That's about it. I mean, you can look out and get t-shirts and stuff like that. That's about it. There is no this for Firefly. It's all you. It's about your engagement as a fan. And I think I couldn't have asked for anything better to be my first real fandom. So, after watching a litany of awesome things talk about the body, I think I might try to find my episode of Firefly that is the same to me as the body is to him. Because I want to be able to express the things I like about a show without just rambling on like an idiot. Now that that's over, incidentally, since I've got my Sonic out, I hit the button so I can't do the noise. Since I've got the Sonic out, I thought I would alert you to the 50th anniversary episode. The Doctor Who 50th anniversary will be airing on November 23rd for the UK and November 25th on BBC America. If you live in America, Fathom Events is hosting the 50th anniversary live stream in theaters 3D. Now, 3D is not my thing-ish, but there have been some movies that have done it well. Gravity being one of them. I wish I had mentioned it in my Gravity review. Shameless plug for my Gravity review. Also, I like doing this animation thing, and I don't know why. But, it's in 3D. That's kind of sucky for people who have glasses and whatnot, but it's still Doctor Who. So, 2 things to say. 1, I bought my ticket already, and I've got ready for the premiere. 2, if I drop off the face of the Earth on the 22nd, it's because I'm avoiding spoilers. Because, let's be honest, I could legally purchase The Day of the Doctor the night it comes out in the UK. But I'm going to wait. 2 days, but I'm going to wait so I can enjoy it in the same sense that I did with A New Hope, around 2,000 fans. There won't be 2,000 fans at the theater I'm going to, but if there's 10 fans, it's still the same thing. There's applauding, there's clapping, there's cheering. It's an engaging experience. It's almost like Star Tours or something like that. It's more of a ride than it is just sitting and watching something. There are some things that are completely different with an audience than if you're by yourself. Case in point, the WNUF Holiday Special. Never watch that alone. I would suggest you purchase that movie, but never watch it alone, because it will never be the same. Laughing at commercials is actually one of the more fun things you can do on Halloween, I feel. So, Doctor Who, Firefly, Star Wars, all that fun stuff. I'm going to have a great time editing this, and it's quite late at night, so I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Thanks for watching. See you next time. If you have any suggestions as to actually, hang on, I have something to talk about. Let's pop a graphic up here. I'm not going to plug my gaming channel here too much, but I just bought a game that I've been wanting to play for a very long time. It's called Evil Genius, and it has awesome music. This game essentially it probably will be kind of boring to watch actually, but I'm going to do a long play of it, which essentially means I'm just going to play the damn game, record it, and then upload it in episode segments. But it's a game where you play as an evil genius who builds his secret volcano lair. Maybe it's just a mountain, not a volcano, but still, it's awesome. I've seen videos of it, and I played it for this much when I installed it this morning, but I bought it, and I'm going to play it. If you have any suggestions for things you want me to talk about here on Mediocre Paragon, or if you have any suggestions for games you want me to play, or things you want me to do on Paragon Plays, just shoot me a YouTube message, or leave a comment down below, that's even better, or like, subscribe, comment, blah, 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 whatever other YouTubers want me to say on this part. But the most important thing is, go out and have fun, guys, because that's really what I'm here for, is to, like, encourage discussion and just make people happy. Like, I know whenever I see something I loved to death as a kid mentioned on the internet, I usually end up watching it. In fact, now that I brought these discs out, I'm probably going to try to watch them. Then I will give up and watch it on Netflix because, well, the good thing about me seeing Firefly when I was 14 was the fact that I was introduced to the fact that there were awesome shows like this out there. The bad thing is that I was 14 years old, didn't know how to take care of a DVD, so every one of these discs is scratched to hell. I'm actually considering getting the Firefly Blu-ray edition. I want that Blu-ray. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time, guys.